Русский? Советский.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Ushanka Show, Stories about Life in the Soviet Union. My name is Sergei Sputnikoff and I was born in the USSR. And today's video will be about long-distance trucking in the Soviet Union, but from slightly different angle. And if you're interested in this topic, I already have quite a few videos covering trucking in the USSR. Below in the comment section you'll find links to my video about Soviet trucking, Soviet long-haul trucking, so this is about trucking crossing the border, going into the Eastern and Western Europe by so-called souvenirs after company. And I shared my personal experience of going long-distance trucking here in the United States back in 1995. That was amazing, and this video also will be below in the comment section. And of course I have a video about the Convoy movie, which was shown in the Soviet Union in mid-80s, and that's when I fell in love with American trucks. But today we're gonna look at the Soviet trucking in a slightly different angle. I stumbled upon a story written by a guy just like me who grew up in the USSR and basically was a kid in the 80s, and that is his recollection of his neighbor who was a souvenirs after driver. So he regularly went to the Western Europe to deliver goods, and then he brought some goodies back home. Okay, so here's the story. There was a guy in my apartment building who worked for souvenirs after and had been to Europe. He wasn't perfect and he drank heavily between the trips. When he was drunk, he would talk a lot about politics and how they lived over there. It means in the West. I remember these truly incredible stories about soft white toilet paper in the restrooms along the highway, about soap by the sinks that no one stole. He gave us empty beer cans which we used to collect. I need to remind you that in Soviet Union beer was sold only in bottles, so collecting beer cans would be a challenging hobby because there's only cans you can get that was from abroad, and that would be one of the way to get them from truck drivers. Or if you lived in a big city like Moscow or Kiev, some kids were dumpster diving near hotels where the foreigners stayed, and this way you can recover some foreign cans as well. And once he parked his, I believe it was SuperThanks semi-truck on our side street and gave us the whole case of a strange lemonade in cans, blue with orange flavor without a single Russian word. I think it was called Limesa. While he was drinking beer, he told us and the neighbors incredible stories about life over there, about VCRs in every house, about retired Wehrmacht veterans driving Mercedeses, and about saunas with both men and women spending time there together, and about coffee in the morning at cafes. And he mentions German veterans driving Mercedeses because Soviet veterans didn't have such a luxury. I already have several videos on that topic. Link will be also below in the comment section. And if you read my book American Diaries 1995, you may recall I had a similar shock when I came to the United States for the very first time and I saw old people driving these beautiful huge cars, mostly Buicks, and it just looked so weird because in Soviet Union old people didn't drive cars. And now back to the story. When he was drunk, he often shouted that he should go to Moscow and kill everyone there. He talked about how homeless in Europe, where he had been, lived better than our working people. Old men and women at their apartment buildings interested shouted at him to shut up. He called them out in typical Cossack fashion. "I will never keep quiet, you filthy communist," cursed Lenin, Stalin, Brezhnev, the KGB and the cops. He was very emotional, gesticulating and howling in a falsetto trembling with emotion. All the boys laughed, but for some reason I felt sad and sorry for him. I suppose it was the pain of a life lost in the Soviet Union because of the opportunity to compare it to the decaying West. Well, I thought it was a pretty cool story to share with you guys, and some of you may wonder why would he just stay in the West if he loved it so much. The problem with the souvenirs after drivers that single guys couldn't get that job. You had to have hostages, your family, remain in the Soviet Union, so that prevented people like this guy who got disillusioned in the Soviet lifestyle to come back every single time. Well, I hope you enjoyed this story about Soviet truck driver. I thought it was kind of cool. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like it. And as a small bonus, we'll show you some vintage Soviet-era trucking videos right after this. Thank you for watching Ushanka Show. До побачення. Goodbye.
Счастливой дороги, теплое напутствие, несколько слов на прощание. И отправляются в далекий рейс большегрузные автомобили. В путевых листах указаны конечные пункты. Страны Совета экономической взаимопомощи, Австрия, Бельгия, Голландия, Франция. Десятки маршрутов освоил за годы прошедшей пятилетки коллектив колонны международных перевозок «Совавто-Брянск», едва ли не самого молодого предприятия в системе «Совтрансавто». Совтрансавто пользуется прекрасной репутацией у иностранных фирм. Их привлекает быстрота и надежность доставки грузов. Количество заказчиков с каждым годом растет. Расширяются и возможности Совтрансавто. Только в брянской колонне к концу пятилетки парк машин увеличится почти в 10 раз. Нелегок труд водителей на международных линиях. График многодневного рейса расписан буквально по часам. А если не погода, да по незнакомой трассе, да за плечами 20 тонн дорогого экспортного груза, не случайно здесь работают опытные водители, такие как, например, Борис Михайлович Орлов и Станислав Михайлович Минтюков, экипаж машины, направляющийся в Федеративную Республику Германия. Из года в год развиваются и крепнут торговые связи Советского Союза со многими странами мира.
Машины с эмблемой Совтрансавто можно увидеть не только на дорогах нашей страны, но и на зарубежных трассах. Это наши, образно говоря, торговые полпреды. В расширении внешнеэкономических связей Советского Союза принимают участие и брянские автомобилисты. В специализированном предприятии международных перевозок «Совавто-Брянск» свыше 200 автопоездов отечественного и зарубежного производства. Они перевозят внешнеторговые, дипломатические, личные грузы по поручению советских и иностранных фирм. В любых дорожных условиях водители высокого класса выдерживают четкий график движения – 600 км в сутки. Грузы доставляются в точно установленное время. Член парткома предприятия Виктор Румянцев свой пятилетний план на международных трассах выполнил еще в прошлом году. Почетной ленинской грамотой награжден водитель Владимир Бахтырь. Свои автопоезда он провел по дорогам стран СЭФ, Бельгии, Голландии, ФРГ, Ирана. Машины Совавто-Брянск проложили маршруты в 16 стран Европы и Азии.
Курган. Перевести дополнительно 210 тысяч тонн груза, сэкономить 185 тонн горючего – такие обязательства в честь 27-го съезда КПСС приняли работники Курганского автотранспортного объединения номер 1. В числе правофланговых бригада лауреата Государственной премии СССР Алексея Анатольевича Мурашова. 19 тонн груза за рейс. Целый автопоезд. Переоборудование бортовых полуприцепов в самосвальные позволило повысить эффективность перевозок. Четкий, слаженный труд бригады Мурашова – это дополнительные километры дорожного полотна.